What if the moment that rewrites an entire Formula One season is not a checkered flag, but a single sunrise over Miami Bay? That is the question every fan should ask as the Scarlet number 44 rolls out this weekend. Ferrari has discarded its own blueprint, gambled on fresh hardware, and placed its faith in a 7-time world champion determined to silence doubt. Some call it desperate, others call it destiny. Either way, the grand experiment will unfold in real time beneath the Florida heat, and the outcome could redraw the title fight before the season is half written. But why is this race poised to change everything? And how did Scuderia Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton arrive at such a crossroads? Let us peel back the layers. One free practice session. That is all the sprint format allows before qualifying locks the grid. For a team wrestling a stubborn chassis, the restriction should be a nightmare. Instead, Ferrari sees opportunity. In Maranello, engineers spent the fortnight since Shanghai tearing through terabytes of telemetry, isolating the unstable rear that cost vital corner speed, and fabricating revised suspension components designed to plant the SF-25 to the asphalt of Miami International Autodrome. By abandoning the incremental program planned for Barcelona, the team has fast-tracked a solution tailored to the unique stop-go nature of this circuit. Hamilton's feedback shaped every millimetre of the update package. Even the brake ducts carry his fingerprints. If the theory holds, the car that struggled to breathe on medium-speed tracks could come alive on the street course hybrid of Miami. Yet bold ideas become legends, or regrets, only after the lights go out. And the data from Friday evening will reveal in minutes whether Ferrari has rescued its campaign or merely rolled loaded dice. Beneath the glistening bodywork, the SF-25 is a paradox. In wind tunnel simulations last winter, it promised gentle balance and prodigious downforce. At the Bahrain opener, reality bit. Mid-corner snap, oversteer, forced both drivers to fight the steering wheel, tyre degradation spiked, and podium chances evaporated by lap 20. Subsequent tweaks brought marginal gains, yet chronic instability under heavy braking remained. In China, the shortcomings turned brutal. Hamilton's machine, running an aggressive plank height set up for the sprint, won the 10-lap dash, but finished the weekend disqualified for excessive wear, while Charles Leclerc's sister car fell foul of minimum weight. The headlines stung, the championship points vanished, and the myth of Ferrari's immediate miracle crumbled. That Shanghai wound pushed Maranello's leadership to do what tradition resists: rip up a development ladder and build a new one mid-season. 12 full seasons in Brackley forged Lewis Hamilton's instincts. There, the cockpit geometry, brake bite point, and hybrid deployment maps were extensions of his own reflexes. Maranello offers none of those familiar cues. The power unit delivers torque in a subtly different wave. The steering column sits at a slightly steeper angle. Even the dashboard fonts are alien. A driver who once felt invincible now wrestles a learning curve measured in milliseconds. Micro errors compound. Turn in a shade too late, energy harvesting a fraction too eager, rear tyres 2 degrees Celsius hotter than ideal. The frustration has echoed in terse radio calls and uncharacteristically subdued press debriefs. Yet champions adapt faster than critics predict. Each lap teaches something new, and the Miami package represents Hamilton's first machine built to his preferences rather than inherited from Leclerc's style. If comfort truly is confidence, this weekend offers the first genuine glimpse of what a settled Hamilton can extract from something painted Rosso Corsa. Ferrari is not only a constructor, it is a myth carried on 75 years of triumph and heartbreak. Every mechanic knows Enzo's portrait watches from the factory wall, every strategist feels the weight of Tifosi judgments, and every driver must reconcile personal ambition with national symbolism. Hamilton spoke openly on arrival about embracing that burden, but the tone has shifted as results faltered. Around the paddock, he draws more cameras than any other athlete, yet smiles have turned rarer, interviews shorter. Inside that pressure cooker, resilience matters as much as lap time. Former legends, from Alain Prost to Sebastian Vettel, learned that Maranello magnifies emotion. Hamilton's allies insist he welcomes the intensity. Skeptics claim it erodes morale faster than carbon fiber burns in a magnesium fire. The answer may become visible in how he handles Miami's rollercoaster weekend, where one session can swing fortunes from euphoria to despair in a single afternoon. Charles Leclerc entered his 7th season at Ferrari, already fluent in the team's nuance. He has mastered driving around understeer by rotating the car on braking, and he understands which political battles in the briefing room are worth fighting. Hamilton, by contrast, is the newcomer with a larger trophy cabinet, yet fewer intimate know-how of Ferrari's culture. their dynamic intrigues analysts. Data shows Leclerc remains quicker in slow bends, while Hamilton's smoother throttle yields superior tyre life over long runs. Cooperation is essential. Shared setup notes accelerated the Miami upgrade's gestation. Competition is inevitable. Only one driver can lead strategy on Sunday. For now, mutual respect persists. However, nothing strains cordial bonds like mismatched cars suddenly switching places. Should Hamilton unlock raw pace this weekend and outqualify Leclerc, internal hierarchy debates will ignite overnight. And that simmering rivalry could either propel Ferrari toward collective glory or fracture the garage when unity matters most. The Chinese Grand Prix revealed both the ceiling and the floor of Ferrari's 2025 campaign. Hamilton's breathtaking sprint victory, snatching the lead at the first hairpin and defending with surgical precision, was pure theatre, proof of speed when circumstances align. Less than 48 hours later, technical infringements erased the triumph and left both cars stripped of points. The infractions were mundane: plank thickness reduced by millimeters, ballast calculation off by grams. Yet symbolism outweighed specifics. Critics declared Ferrari careless, rivals chuckled, fans groaned. Inside the team, anger morphed into resolve. The post-race autopsy traced the missteps to aggressive ride height experiments and faulty scales. Revised procedures and stricter quality checks were implemented before freight even departed for Miami. Those lessons, paid for with a 0-point haul, now underpin the updates Hamilton will test on Friday afternoon. Designing a new rear suspension specification in less than 3 weeks is an exercise in controlled chaos. Maranello's composite shop ran around the clock, fabricating wishbones with altered anti-squat geometry. The CFD department simulated airflow over modified brake ducts to ensure cooling remained within safe thresholds, under Miami's predicted 31 degrees Celsius ambient temperature. Meanwhile, dyno cells in Modena validated revised power unit control maps tailored for the track's long acceleration zones out of Turn 8 and Turn 16. The final parts boarded a cargo flight to the United States barely 48 hours ago. Because the sprint schedule compresses practice to 60 minutes, Ferrari has prepared 2 divergent setups, one conservative baseline and one aggressive variant matching Hamilton's request for sharper turn-in. Only real-time data will decide which survives qualifying. Ferrari's gamble is therefore double-edged: ingenious if validated, reckless if the stopwatch refuses to cooperate. When the sun sets on Sunday evening, Miami's yachts will still glitter, and the grandstands will still throb with music. But the narrative surrounding Lewis Hamilton's first Ferrari season may look entirely different. A competitive showing could mark the dawn of a formidable new partnership, turning early-year despair into mid-season charge. Another stumble might confirm deeper flaws and extend a painful adaptation. The beauty of Formula One is that predictions crumble once the 5 red lights fade. What we know is simple. Ferrari has listened to its newest superstar, torn apart convention, and delivered a machine shaped to his instincts. Hamilton, ever the fighter, has met the challenge by doubling down on preparation and self-belief. Together, they stand on the verge of discovery, of whether talent plus innovation can in real time overcome inertia and expectation. So when the cars line up beneath the Miami heat, remember this moment. For in that brief hush before the engines scream, the future of scarlet ambition hangs in the balance.